2025. We are going to be rocking and rolling on this. There's a good amount to get to. Basically get it done in about 40 minutes. So if you are new here, hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell. We do this every day, usually. Sometimes we'll take Friday nights off, do it Saturday morning, but Friday or Saturday is when I take my break, and because I've got a bunch of things that I do. But there's a lot going on. Of course, we are in the run-up to Trump's inaug. We've got other things going on. The release of the brokered deal between the Middle Eastern fighters and all of that. And we are going to get right into it. So we appreciate you being here. Please consider becoming a member as it furthers our work. And by our, I mean mine. Basically what I do is I tabulate all of the news of the day from all over the web, multiple different geopolitical sites, and I put them together in a 30 to 45 minute rundown so you can snap on the earbuds and just go about your day and hear literally everything. I call this the most comprehensive news on YouTube. It is just that. And because of that, we are pretty heavily suppressed. So when you like and subscribe and do all that, and then also become a member, it basically makes it so the platform here has to listen to us. Basically, every other platform on the planet is getting in line with the fact that the progressive side of politics is a failure. But there are still some entities on this sucker that feel that they need to do things their way, and they're just not going to listen. So best thing to do is just not to quit and to keep hammering it right into their head. It's because they'll eventually get it. So we're not going to stop ever, and we're going to keep doing what we do. All right? So lock in. This is your crisis report for January 18th, 2025, and having blue hair is an idiot idea to do. Stephen Colbert says, you might not see me again when Donald Trump becomes president. Good. Get out. Leave. CNN has been found liable for defaming security consultant Zachary Young and has been ordered to pay $5 million. Good. You lost. Danny Werfel, current IRS commissioner appointed by Joe Biden, has announced his resignation will take place the same day as the inaug. Good. Get out. U.S. Gov has awarded Moderna almost $600 million to advance the HPAI gibbity. There's a big story in Georgia that's breaking right now, and of course that is to be expected. Multiple local Washington, D.C. area police departments are refusing to assist and secure the inaug. That is treason. You're either a part of the country or you're not. You don't have to vote for them. You don't have to do anything like that. But if your fucking job is to take care of the guy and the public, then maybe you shouldn't be there, and maybe you should form some kind of a legal criminal thing. Okay? It's absolutely just stupid that they would think that they could do that. Should be arrested. Should be put in jail and have criminal fines for doing such a thing. You're a public servant for the public. It's not about the president. It's about you taking care of the people that are going to be there, because there's going to be all kinds of stuff. It's just arrogant, and I just can't even say enough negative about it. Investigations revealed HHA executives charged over $500,000 to dine spectacle restaurants, host parties, and enjoy massages at work, despite claims that they were out of funds to provide families with rent assistance. So, typical government waste. CNN's revenue has plummeted by more than $400 million over the past 3 years. Yeah, because your platform sucks. Federal court rules DACA illegal on the eve of the Trump administration. American citizens who were falsely imprisoned for their involvement in January 6 have started to be released from jail during inaug weekend. They should sue the Justice Department and everybody that got them behind bars, and for everything. Just sue the crap out of them. First case of highly pathogenic avian influenza has been detected in Georgia, prompting emergency officials to suspend all in-state poultry sales. If you're not buying chicken like a fool right now, you are making a mistake. Romania confirms that a Russian struck a Romanian territory in the Tulcea County during a large drone attack against Ukraine this morning. Romania is a NATO member. Tel Aviv and central Israel are on the air raid alert due to missile launches from Yemen. Russia-Ukraine war. Recent UAV strikes by special forces of the armed forces of Ukraine on 4 oil depots in Russia have been caused fires. Authorities are not able to put out the fires until now. Previously hit were the depots in Ingles and Lishki. Overnight attacks in Kaluga and Tula. England is considering the establishment of military bases in Ukraine as outlined in a strategic partnership agreement signed on January 16, 2025 during Prime Minister Keir Starmer's visit to Kiev. Declaration emphasizes collaboration on the military needs and infrastructure, including logistics and reserve storage, aimed at enhancing Ukraine's defense capabilities against significant threats. Additionally, the England will provide at least 3 billion euro or sterling annually in military aid to Ukraine until 2031. Plans for increased cooperation in advanced weaponry and air defense systems as well. Scholz called Musk a threat to democracy. At a press conference in Berlin, German Chancellor accused the businessmen of supporting far-right parties in the EU. Oh, the ones that are kicking your ass right now because your platform sucks? Threatens the democratic development of Europe. It threatens our community and must be criticized. You know what threatens democracy, you fool? You going online with your big, huge public platform and saying that the other group that is a legitimate group doing all the legitimate political activities and saying that they're democracy and they need to be removed. You know who removes their political parties? Communist dictators. Okay, so stop acting like a dictator and win. Have a better platform. Go out there and win the votes like a human, like a good person, a good politician would do. But we know that you're not going to do that because, again, your platforms suck and you're beholden to moneyed masters in the background. Class! IDF forces continue to destroy Hezbollah infrastructure in southern Lebanon, this one in Ait Ashab. Israeli cabinet is currently, I'm on fire today, meeting to approve the deal unless something happens at the last minute. First hostages will be released Sunday at 4 p.m. I hope it goes through. The deal sucks, but I hope the people are released. There's 33 of them, and, there's like a baby. It's just, I don't know. I'll be surprised if they're released, be honest. Still holding to that. Ugandan judge Julius Sabutindi is now set to assume the presidency of the institution after the former head was stepped down. Sabutinde has strongly defended Israel against accusations of genocide in Gaza, according to the ICJ. 33 hostages who are expected to be released. The list does not indicate the conditions of the hostages, of which them are still alive. And they've got a list right here in the crisis report. Of course, you can get this. It's PrepperNow.substack.com. And they have the list right there. It's got all the links as well if you want all that. It's just a great way to, get the links and just see what I'm saying. This is a full transcript, so you can follow whatever you want to follow and go wherever you want to go. Thank you so much to Joseph Benson. I really appreciate that, man. We're fighting upstream, but we're not going to fight. I will never stop. They're going to have to physically remove me. Houthi leader Abdel Malik al-Houthi is signaling a new equation for him. Any violation of the ceasefire agreement by Israel will result in a response from the Houthis. Houthi leader welcomes the ceasefire agreement and says that Yemen is monitoring the implementation. He also states that Houthi forces are preparing to continue their response against Israel should it violate the ceasefire agreement. Houthis are not going anywhere, at least anytime soon. Political security cabinet discussion began. Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem. Operational security assessment held regarding the implementation of the agreement, headed by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That's all come and gone and it's passed. Fatality estimates for Gaza, 51,600 total gone, 22,600 civilians, 20,000 combatants, 7,000 natural deaths, 2,000 deaths by Hamas. Civilian combatant ratio 1-to-1. Not only that is not that it's not a G-side, but it's one of the lowest civilian combatant ratios in any war. 2016 to 2017 Battle of Mosul, the biggest urban battle since World War II. U.S.-led Iraqi security services killed 10,000 civilians and destroyed 4,000 ISIS in the city. That is a 1 to 2.5 combatant civilian death ratio. Kia Chris, thanks, brother. For the detailed analysis after 15 months of close review, please see the thread of Eisenberg on X. That, of course, is the link, and that's why you get the Substack. Trump and Biden promised Israel, and by the way, it's free. You don't have to pay. There are ways to pay. It's like a tipping system, but you can get all this for free. You don't have to pay. Trump Biden promised Israel if Hamas violates the agreement of rearms, you have the green light to resume fighting. High-ranking political force with the familiar with the details of the deal told Israel Hayom that in Israel that this information is not being disclosed to the public or the ministers out of fear that its publication could cause Hamas to back out of the agreement. Israeli Security Cabinet approved the Gaza ceasefire deal from the cabinet meeting. According to IDF, 82% of Tur who are released return to Tur. So 4 out of 5 are going to go back to what they were doing. So anybody thinking that the battle, all that's going to stop, it's not. 1,890 Tur are going to be released in the deal. 290 of them have killed soldiers and other people. Another 600 of the Tur only tried to put down thousands of Israelis in wheelchairs, and another 1,000 from Gaza that are fighters buried there. I can't read it because that's all algo triggering crap, but it's there. Minister Netanyahu has updated the ministries of the political security cabinet meeting, saying we have received unequivocal guarantees from Biden and Trump that if the negotiations phase 2 fail, Hamas does not accept our security demands, we will return to intense fighting, and they plan it. IDF chief addressed ministers of the political security cabinet discussion, stating that under the current terms of the deal, number of Israeli forces stationed along the Philadelphia axis will not decrease, but actually increase. Agreement adheres to the force deployment map approved in August, ensuring that during the deal's implementation, more troops will be positioned in the axis than there are at any present. HTS-led Syrian Transitional Government confirms, ISIS, formerly known as, that all Iranian nationals are banned from entering Syria, including religious pilgrimage to Sayyida Zainab Shrine in Damascus. In addition, Russian and Iranian goods are now banned from entering. So basically what HTS did, of course they are formerly ISIS, they just agreed with Israel and America and the other Western forces that they can take over the country, but they just can't help Iran. That's what I think this all has boiled down to being. Chinese state-sponsored hacked U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen cyber attack got 50 unclassified files. The breach also affected Deputy Secretary Wally Ademo, acting under Secretary Brad Smith. Whenever they say, oh, it only got like 50 unclassified, I don't believe it. If they're in there, they're not just looking around at freaking family photos. Israeli far-right politician Itamar Ben-Gvir will ensure Netanyahu remains prime minister, but will leave because of the signed agreement is disastrous. War resumes and the government protects its citizens by not leaving a major terror hub in Gaza. We will return to the agreement. German Foreign Minister Baerbock has launched an attack on Chancellor Scholz for blocking additional military aid to Ukraine. She accused him of jeopardizing European peace to quickly win a few votes. She said, for some politicians, the question of how I can quickly win a few votes in general election is more important than the responsibility to really secure Europe's peace and freedom. Putin knew that we could take him out any time, and with nuclear weapons in Ukraine, he wanted to make sure that there were no nuclear weapons in Ukraine, according to Biden. U.S. Supreme Court upholds the TikTok ban. Senate breaks the filibuster. It passed the Laken-Riley Act, 61-35. The bill mandates the deportation of any illegal alien found guilty of crimes, homicide to shoplifting. First immigration bill in decades to be passed without any amnesty amendment. Trump and China, had a phone call just now. Trump says he will do everything possible to make the world a more powerful and safe. Hamas leader Bassem Naim, the Gaza deal would not have happened without Trump. A lot of people are saying that. Russia and Iran officially signed a 20-year strategic partnership agreement and guarantees the security of the two countries. We've been covering that the last couple days because I get it first. TikTok boss recorded a video and thanked Trump for stepping in to keep the app running in the U.S. It will run probably for a while until they figure out what to do with it. It's got too much revenue coming into the country, and I don't know if you've been outside in the larger world and seeing just how craptastic our economy is. We need every nickel we can get through taxes. In other ways, taxes suck. The European Union is buying record quantities of Russian gas 2025, paying billions of dollars to Moscow. Data collected commodities intelligence from Kepler and analyzed by Politico reveals that the first 15 days of 2025, the European Union's 27 countries imported 837,300 metric tons of liquefied natural gas from Russia. SMO, worst case, has happened to Velika Novosilka. Everyone expected the Russians encircled the village after the advance in Varamivka. Despite the great danger, there was no order to retreat in the hopeless situation. Russians are very active around Kharkov and are intensively attacking the forest lines held by the Ukrainians with drones. Ukrainian sources also confirm that the Russians are close to Dashin, east of Dnepropetrovsk Oblast. The Russians are able to capture the villages of Slovanka and Yosinevya. Shortly before Pokrovsk, the Russians expand their zone of control and penetrate deeper into Kotelnya. According to Ukrainian sources, the Russians are also trying to bypass Zverovna from the north. In the Kharkov Oblast, the Russian forces carried out a mechanized attack in the direction of Tikhia a few days ago. Today, videos are being published which show that the Russians have already taken control of the northern part of the village, and that is the latest there. U.S. agencies monitoring developments around Taiwan. A total of 6 reconnaissance aircrafts were in pursuit. Donald Trump reportedly conveyed a stern warning to Israeli officials, saying senior Israeli officials have indicated their intention to remain in southern Lebanon beyond the 60-day ceasefire due to the slow deployment of the Lebanese army, raising concerns in Washington. The Jerusalem Post learned on Thursday. Sources close to U.S. President-elect said DJT has reportedly conveyed a warning to Israeli officials. We don't want the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon to collapse. Prime Minister Netanyahu told the ministries of the Security Cabinet that we received unequivocal guarantees from both Biden and Trump that if the negotiations on Phase 2 fail and Hamas does not accept our security demands, we will return to intense fighting with the backing of the United States. Hamas' statement on the ceasefire deal. With the gracious efforts of mediators, the obstacles that arose during the occupation's failure to adhere to the terms of the ceasefire agreement, they were resolved earlier this morning. The movement of the work towards a comprehensive national prisoner exchange involving all factions and members of our people. We affirm that the lists of the prisoners released in the first phase of the exchange as part of the ceasefire agreement will be published by the prisoner's office in accordance with the stages and procedures of the exchange. Biden grants clemency to 2,500 people. That's the most ever in a day. Thanks for sending a bunch of dealers that back out into the world. Yeah, man, Biden's the best, bro. Yeah. Let's go steal some cars. Supreme Court upholds the law banning TikTok beginning Sunday if it's not sold by its Chinese parent company. We'll see what happens with that. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run for Ohio governor. He will win. Obama, Clinton, and Bush will not be at Trump's traditional inaugural lunch. Who cares? Trump to begin large-scale deportations Tuesday. Incoming Trump administration is planning a large-scale immigration raid in Chicago next week. They are preparing. There's videos out there of like places in California with Walmarts, and they used to be just packed and the place is disarray because all of them getting their government winnings. They're all gone, and now like the Walmart is the cleanest it's ever been. England is set to send its cadets to Ukrainian military universities for combat experience training as part of an agreement with Kiev. In return, England plans to train Ukrainian cadets at the Royal Military Academy. This initiative aims to enhance the operational capabilities of both nations' armed forces amidst ongoing military challenges. The training reflects England's commitment to supporting Ukraine in its defense efforts against aggression and is part of a broader military assistance strategy. More than half a dozen local Washington, D.C. area police departments are refusing to assist in the inauguration. As I said before, they should be arrested, fired, and have their pensions taken away, the fat POSs that they are. Coldest in 40 years, Arctic blast expected to bring dangerously cold temperatures across much of the U.S. on January 20th. Staying home is the best way to avoid health risks associated with hypothermia and frostbite. That's a sarcasm site. Germany ready to send troops to Ukraine for deployment in a buffer zone, Defense Minister Pistorius says. Ceasefire on the Gaza Strip will come into effect at 8:30 local time, January 19th, Qatari Foreign Minister reports. Russia wants to completely occupy Donetsk, Lugansk, Zaporozhye, and Kherson regions by the end of 2025, according to Die Welt. Russia is expected to launch mass casualty attacks across Europe, U.S., and Canada, and NATO is on alert, according to the Irish Star. I'm so scared. Israel to free 1,904 Palestinians in exchange for hostages. Iran, first ever pictures of a secret IRGC Navy underground base, according to Channel 2. One of these bases are 500 meters deep, where the IRGC commander-in-chief, accompanied by the Navy commander, inspects the readiness of the forces stationed at these bases. French Navy's Atlantique II patrol aircraft was illuminated by the fire control radar of Russian S-400 air defense system in international airspace over the Baltic Sea. French officials condemn the act as aggressive and unacceptable. Israel has killed at least 113 Palestinians and injured close to 300 in Gaza since the ceasefire announcement. Former CIA analyst was found guilty on Friday of leaking information about Israel's planned attack on Iran. Asif William Rahman, who worked for the U.S. government, was arrested by the FBI in Cambodia and is now accused of leaking classified information assessing Israel's earlier plans to attack Iran. Rahman has been working for the CIA since 2016 and had access to classified documents. Great job. Trump administration will begin a large-scale deportation campaign on Tuesday, the day after his inauguration, starting in Chicago. Operation involving 100 to 200 ICE officers targets undocumented immigrants with criminal records but may detain others encountered. Plans for New York, L.A., Denver, and Miami are being worked. Libyan commander Khalifa Haftar granted Russian forces control of the Mahten al-Sarrah airbase near the Chad-Sudan border. This move aims to strengthen Russia's military presence in Africa and establish a logistics hub for operations across the Sahel. It also replaces Tartus. Qatar's prime minister reveals Israel's Gaza deal was proposed 13 months ago, calling the delay a waste. 13 months of waste, negotiating details that have no meaning and aren't worth any single life that we lost in Gaza or any single life of those hostages. EU Commission is demanding internal documents about algorithms and authority access to specific programming interfaces of Elon Musk's platform X. According to several media outlets, Netanyahu could not secure promises from Donald Trump that the new American administration would assist Israel in destroying the Iranian nuclear program through military means. Netanyahu affirms that Israel will only engage in the ceasefire tomorrow when Hamas provides the list of hostages to be delivered and states that Israel will not tolerate any violations of the ceasefire and full responsibility lays with Hamas. So they're still waiting on the names, and I think Israel's like, do you really have these people? Because there's a lot of people that don't believe that these people are still alive. Russians have killed Danish F-16 instructor. Russian missile strikes in Kryvyi Rog killed Danish F-16 instructor in today's missile strikes on an aviation college in Kryvyi Rog. A NATO-affiliated pilot instructor from Denmark was killed. Reports on social media confirmed his death, with friends mourning the loss online. Allegedly, The Dane inadvertently leaked his location to a prostitute, leading to an Iskander strike that proved fatal. Keep it in your pants, friends. I mean, seriously. Oh, my God. What a way to go. I hope she was worth it, dude. Mississippi House voted to eliminate the state income tax. The bill also cuts grocery tax but raises gas and sales tax. Plan would over time cut $1.1 billion from the state's current $7 billion general fund money. So a lot of other states are starting to get rid of income tax. Things are going in different ways. The pendulum is swinging, folks. So to the blue hairs in the back, you might want to start to act accordingly because it's kind of seen as the horse crap that it is. So, you want to know what a real threat to democracy is? Keeping people from being able to speak their minds freely. Okay? As the biographer of Voltaire, I believe it was, said, "Although I may disagree with you, I will defend to the death your right to say it." I know that's not exactly the quote, but it is the truth. We need freedom. We need speech, and we need to cut back all this crap that has been going on over the last 4 years. Because I can tell you, things have not felt pretty good until now. I'm hoping to God that we will get back to some semblance of freedom and rights in this country. And we'll be covering it all here, folks, on the Crisis Report. Most comprehensive news on YouTube. This, of course, is on Substack, PrepperNow.substack.com. Please consider becoming a member. It is the greatest way to keep the blue hairs at bay. And it is $2, a whopping 8 quarters a month. And all it does is just make it so they go, oh, we should keep this guy going. All right? I'm not going to raise it. I will never raise my prices or anything like that. It means that I just come here and do what I do, and I'm not going to pimp other products or anything. It's just straight news, okay? So we appreciate you. God bless. Thanks to those that gave me a nice little tip today. I really appreciate that as well. Go forth, tell them what we're doing here on the Crisis Report. And let's get this country back to the great country that it used to be, all right? I love America. I think Americans are some of the greatest people, some of the most heroic ever. We used to do great things. Let's get back to it, okay? And the main thing you can do right now is support the process thereof to get us back. So I appreciate y'all for doing it. I appreciate y'all for being here. And we will see you on the next one, all right? God bless. Have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow.